Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Friday.
Good Friday.
Oh, Good Friday. For those who are interested in that, yes, it is Good Friday to them.
Yes, indeed.
To all of us, I hope it's a Good Friday in capital G or lowercase g.
I like what you did there. Well, good morning, everyone. I'm Tom. That's Bob, and this is today's Antidote, our daily broadcast to help you find that one thing maybe today, the thing that might help you move forward during the day, or that you can stow away and use when you need it upcoming in the future. We have a topic that we discuss every week, and we look forward to your comments because it enhances our conversation and provides a different set of knowledge, experience, and perspective that can be beneficial to someone. At the end of the show, we'll share our one thing, that one thing to help you move forward. And we hope that whether you're watching it live or watching it in Facebook later, or YouTube, or any of the other platforms we have it, that you will share your one thing. Because what we do know is that while we have something to offer, we know that everyone has something to offer. And that what you share might make a difference for someone else. So please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments as we continue to discuss this week opportunities and how we talked about what they are, discovering them, missed opportunities, obstacles that could arise. And now we're at the point where we'll do a weekly wrap up. And before we get to that, Bob, you want to tell everyone about what we have coming up in April inside of the Ring of Renegades?
Oh, we've got so much great stuff, Tom. We've got the Renegade Roundup networking events on Tuesday, the 13th of April at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Or you can do the other one, which is Thursday, April 22nd at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Or you could get totally off the hook and go to both of them. That's right, go to both of them. I know Tom will be at both of them. I know I will be at both of them. They are a blast. It's so much fun. You won't even realize that you're networking. You'll just be having a great time getting to know people, and then you'll want to talk to them more afterwards. And then bookending all that, in the middle, you see that we have a Ring of Renegades check-in and check-up every Wednesday, starting this coming Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. This is a chance for you to join us in Facebook and talk about what's going on with your week, what you've achieved, what you were trying to achieve, to get support, to get encouragement, to possibly get other ideas, alternative ways to look at something. Whatever you need in that middle of the week to make each week successful, you want to join us Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Time.
Awesome. I like that. Anything else you want to add about? You get so excited when you talk about the networking events.
I do.
Funny to listen on the other side as you get all wound up, which I like.
I'm an extrovert. So the networking events are my thing. And I am so resistant to the boring networking event where you go in and you talk to three people and then someone says, all right, everyone gather around. And you gather in that circle. And then everyone talks for like 90 seconds, but you can't hear the guy over there because the person next to you is making a joke or clinking their glass or checking their phone. Those things drive me crazy.
Or you're worried about what are you going to say?
Right, exactly. So you haven't heard the three people before you who said exactly what you're looking for, but you're too busy going, okay, do I say I'm Bob Graham? Do I say I'm Bob? Do I say I'm this guy? Do I give my title? Do I not give my title? You know, are they going to get through everyone and no one's going to care when they get to me? So we've overcome that. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to share that with people. And I'm excited that we do it in a way that people actually don't just walk away and go, well, there's a business card. I'll throw it in my pile. Look, I have 1,000 business cards. They actually walk out of it and say, I can't wait to talk to these people tomorrow.
Absolutely. So we hope that you will take the opportunity to join us at one of those events and grow your network and get to know other people inside of the Ring of Renegades. You can also bring a friend. it's a great way for them to introduce them to not only people that you have gotten to know within the Facebook group, but to also introduce them to the Facebook group and a chance for them to be a part of it. So we hope that you will join us at one of those opportunities. So or more. True. So speaking of opportunities, as we wrap up this week discussing opportunities, Bob, what are some of your thoughts around them?
It's funny, Tom. We must have had every couple of months, every couple of weeks, we have one of those weeks where it just deeply digs into me. And when we get to this weekly wrap up, I realized that I was so into the topic that I didn't do my job, which was to write notes and be able to do this on Friday when we do the weekly wrap up. So I was really affected by the discussions. It really made me start thinking about things differently. And I was talking to someone yesterday who was complaining about the fact that their kids were off school today and Monday. And so they weren't going to be able to get work done. And they saw this as a missed opportunity. And I said, well, how old are your kids? It was like, I think 7 and 9. And I said, well, why don't you go on an adventure with them for a couple of days? Why don't you do things around the house or help them prepare for, if you're having Easter dinner, have them help you and go grocery shopping and teach them that. And before I went through a list of things or do this, and he said to me, it's like, what you're really telling me is that there's an opportunity for me with my children. And I said, exactly. You're seeing I lose the opportunity to work as a missed opportunity. And I see you're gaining the opportunity that your kids want to spend time with you. And he's a single parent. He's had some issues with his former wife. And I'm like, they're chomping at the bit to do something. What are we going to do? And he has the kids all 4 days, which is unusual. So I'm like, you're seeing this as a negative. What if you turned it around? And I think we do that all the time. We see this, it's Good Friday, which means everyone's going to be distracted. I'm not going to be able to make my calls. I'm really slow this week. I need to do these things. Or, hey, you know what? This is a day to work on long-range goals, to plan like you and I are in an hour, to do things so there's always something to do. And I think we've got to look at what an opportunity is. And the opportunity that I think we squander the most is time. And we haven't even talked about that this week. And to me, time is an opportunity. When you have an hour, it can either be, this is a horrible hour, or this is a great hour. If you use it however it's going to propel you with whatever you want to do. I'm using 5 hours this afternoon to play golf. Business connections, it'd be a great time. I knew that this afternoon wasn't going to be a busy day or afternoon because of the holiday. And I also knew that I was working late last night. So I matched things up. And we've talked all about business opportunities. One of the great things to me is the possibility to create the opportunities around what you want your life to be and to form your business around your life. So much of what I've done in my career is conformed my life to my business. Now I'm trying to build my business around my life.
I like that. And I think what's interesting is you were telling that example. Mm-hmm. It really got me thinking about, you shared it as a missed opportunity to be, of thinking how you could look at it differently. I think sometimes people think about that as obstacles. And I started wondering, are they the same thing? Are truly an opportunity and an obstacle? It's just a matter of perspective. It's something that is in front of us that we get the chance to make a decision upon. And we can either look at that as the thing in front of us as an obstacle. The obstacle is, I've got work to do and my kids are here. I want to make a lot of calls. Everybody is away. Nobody's focused on work today. I'm trying to talk with my team and they're all distracted because the March Madness is going on, or the Easter is coming up and they're making plans for what's happening with that. And I think it's one of those things that sometimes it's just a matter of how do we phrase it? What is the tone or what are the words that we use that literally turn obstacles into opportunities, and vice versa, turn opportunities into obstacles that could block us. And I wonder about really how different those two things are.
That's an interesting perspective, Tom. You got my brain doing all kinds of gymnastics now. It's like, wow, we're doing the fire hose thing this morning. Have you noticed that? I threw about 18 things at people, and you just dropped down like a major bomb of intellect that I need to go back and listen to a process. Because if obstacles and opportunities are the same thing, and I think they're two sides of the same coin, right?
Sure.
You know, you can look at it and go either way, but I think that's a really interesting perspective. But I think what I would tell you to that is I'm much better at identifying obstacles. I can see those really quickly. And many times I see the obstacles lined up ahead of me, even though there are just as many opportunities. Because like you said, if it's two sides of the same coin, if I turn that thing around, that's an obstacle, and turn it around, suddenly it's an opportunity.
So do they even really exist? Or is it?
Oh, we're going to go that route.
Well, think about that. It's like, okay,
After we've talked about it for a week, you're going to throw it down. It doesn't even exist.
it's something in front of us. Our language can decide whether or not it's an opportunity or an obstacle, just in the way we talk about it.
Our language and our mindset.
In our mindset, correct.
Right? Those two work hand in hand.
It's really a judgment on something that is in front of you. Is this an opportunity or is this an obstacle that's in my way? And that was just a fascinating thought that came to my head as you were talking through that, is that like many other things, when we start to judge, we spend a lot of time worrying about, is it an opportunity or an obstacle, rather than just, let's just make a decision about what are we going to do with what is real, what's in front of me right now, and how am I going to choose to move forward with it?
Tom, I want to put some comments in. Let me see if I can do it. This is a personal favorite of mine from Liz. Bob, are you seeing okay? Yes, I am. I'm wearing contacts because when I play golf, I wear contacts. And so, yes, I'm seeing okay. I don't see Tom as clearly as usual, but I can still read the monitor. So that's a good thing. Tim says, homeschooling my daughter is one of the best things I've ever done for my family. It's brought us so much closer, and I'm grateful for the chance. And there's a choice.
Sure.
And that could be an opportunity or an obstacle.
Yes.
And Tim has chosen to make it the opportunity, which is great. Tim also says, that's the best thing about working for myself. I've formed my business around my life. It doesn't always produce the finances I would like, but the results, closer with my family, more time with my daughter, ability to work on my house, are definitely worth it. And I think that's getting to that idea that I was saying about, do you mold your life around your business or your business around your life? I know Tim has molded his business around his life.
Yeah, and I would ask Tim to consider, instead of saying but, say and.
Okay.
It doesn't always produce the finances I would like, and the results are definitely worth it.
Well, I like that. That's nice. And then I'm not sure who this is. Hi, guys. I've heard a lot lately about positive perspective. I don't know if that's us or in general, but I think that's one of the things that you and I have really been another way of saying what we're trying to do. And I think what so much of our work with people and so much of our work with bringing together the Ring of Renegades, doing these programs, forming the Renegade Success Network, writing a book, all the things that we've done are really about giving people the opportunity to see the things that they can go for if they choose.
Sure, and they don't think of, and it's just a perspective. It doesn't have to be positive or, I guess the other side would be negative. It's just perspective. It's just, this is the way you look at it. I think when we start, it becomes very easy to start judging. Is it positive? Is it negative? Or is it just their perspective? When someone shares something with us, we can agree or disagree with it, and that's okay. And we don't necessarily have to label it as positive or negative. It's just their perspective. We're not going to pass a judgment on how do we look at it. In some regards, does that really matter? It's just their perspective. It's what is real for them and what they want to share.
Nice. So with that, Tom, What's your one thing to wrap up the week? Because we just, my head was spinning when we started the day, and now it's spinning more.
So my one thing for the week, is when we talk about, I think that I have always thought, not always, but for a long time thought, with every opportunity, there will always be potential obstacles in front of it. And every opportunities can come from that. And I think, that kind of ties into what I was thinking about today is it really either, or is it just something that's in front of us that we have a chance to make a decision on and think about? Do we think about it as an obstacle, or do we think about it as an opportunity? Or do we just say, you know what, I don't really care whether it's one or the other. I just am going to figure out what action am I going to take from it? I'm going to get as much information as I can, make a decision about, how I've dealt with this situation in the past, how have others maybe dealt with it, and then what's going to be the best next step for me? Because what might have been the right next step for someone else isn't necessarily going to fit my own unique situation and circumstances. And so at some point, I just have to decide, how am I going to deal with this thing that's in front of me?
I love that. I'm going to tack on to that what you said at the end, that I need to figure out how it fits in for me, because I think that's something that I see happen for me and for other people. It's like, well, this person did this thing. That may or may not work for me. What worked for them and what was the opportunity for them may not be the opportunity for me. I'm sure there's someone out there who would say homeschooling is a horrible idea. Tim says it's great. Sure. It didn't fit that person. Maybe they didn't like teaching. Maybe they couldn't establish the order in the home. Maybe they couldn't afford the books. Maybe the child missed the structure of a classroom or the socialization. All those. Can you tell I worked in homeschooling for a while?
Yes.
I can go there real fast. But that's the thing, I think. We have to look at the opportunity for ourselves, not what other people tell us. And that's one of the things I took away from this week is I really have to think about the opportunity in my world, not the opportunity for everyone else. So The world was going to Clubhouse, and you and I went to Clubhouse, and we decided that Clubhouse wasn't the world for us. That was our choice. Good, bad, indifferent. We evaluated it and said, there are a couple obstacles here that we don't want to chase. We can do things another way that eliminate some of those obstacles and create new opportunities for us and the people we want to serve. And granted, they create their own set of obstacles. Nothing's obstacle free, right?
I don't know. Depends on if you consider it an obstacle or an opportunity. There are lots of things in front of us. There are lots of things surrounding the decisions we make about whatever is in front of us, and doesn't make it. It could be. You could look at it as an obstacle, or you could look at it as an opportunity. And I think that all comes back to what is real for you, based on your knowledge, experience, and perspective. How do you see it? So often, though, we take how we see it and determine as that's what it is.
Right.
Some people will say, well, homeschooling is awful. Well, for whom?
Right.
I think that when the challenge is when we start judging things, we just start spending a lot of time on things that don't necessarily help us move forward. Rather, if we thought about, okay, let me look at both sides. What are the things that might be really great about homeschooling? Because we were talking about it. We talked about it the other day, buying a second location. What are the things that are good about it? What are the things that maybe aren't as beneficial as I thought? And, what are the things that are kind of neutral? And then we just have to make the best decision we can on what is best and right for us. And I almost like looking back on it is when we might determine whether it was an opportunity or not. Somebody posted in the Facebook group about Apple stock that they had at $2 or whatever. And now they see it as a missed opportunity. There was a legitimate chance that Apple could have completely fallen apart and folded. There was a chance. And so you would have lost whatever investment you had. And you would have looked at it differently. So when we look back on results, it's easier to say, oh yeah, that was a missed opportunity, rather than it was just an action that we took and that it had some sort of results that we can try to learn from.
Okay. I'm going to Tim gave a nice rebuttal that I want to make sure we include. I used the word but on purpose, and I know Tim well enough to know that he does not choose words without great thought, because but discounts whatever came before it. I was purposefully discounting the lack of financial production my business sometimes has. So there you go, clarity. And what I love about that is Tim knew what he was saying and was clear enough to, when you gave him an alternative, say, no, this is what I was saying, and he owns it. I mean, you can read those words and go, this is what I meant, and this is who I am, and I love that in people.
He just wants to get on the show again so we can have a discussion about and or but.
I also want to say, Tom, there's been a little discussion going on in the chat. I'm not sure if you see. People are saying sometimes they can't see what the source of the comments are. If you're concerned about that and you want us to mention your name, you need to go into StreamYard and tell StreamYard, the platform we use for this, that you're okay with us seeing your name. That's an action you have to take. We can't control that. It's a protection privacy thing with StreamYard. It'll take you I think 15 seconds if you're slow to just click on the link, and then you hit a button that says go for it, and
yes,
it'll fix it. Yeah.
Correct.
So just wanted to make sure that people understood that we weren't intentionally not saying people's names. And just a couple more comments here, since we had some great ones this morning. Oh, there it is. That was about the source. A Facebook user said, I must admit I'm extraordinarily lucky in having a college professor as a mother and a genius for a daughter. It makes it a lot easier. That might be Tim.
I don't know. I would think,
but I do not know.
Having a genius for a daughter would be like, all right, how am I going to teach them anything if they're that smart?
And then one more comment. I have to say, and usually wins that particular argument. So
it's a discussion. It's not an argument. We're sharing what's real for each other.
I love how we go down rabbit holes sometimes. It's another of my favorite parts. Thank you, everyone, for your comments this morning. It really makes us so much more fun and much more enjoyable. And please, if there was something you discovered, if Tom said something or I said something and it sparked some insight or a disagreement or a thought, please share it in the chat. One of the things Tom and I are deeply committed to is giving people more access to information. Many of us are isolated a lot of the time. This is one way we can break down that isolation and really learn from each other.
Absolutely. Well, I think it has been a great week talking about opportunities. And I would say that the opportunity to have some great conversations inside the Ring of Renegades also was enjoyable. And if you haven't gone in and read some of the conversations about missed opportunities and other things, I think that there's really some interesting thoughts. People are giving some great feedback, about what are the opportunities they have. There was even a poll about obstacles that you're currently facing. So I would suggest that if you are not yet a member of our Ring of Renegades Facebook group, and this is a discussion that you are, maybe you didn't love the discussion, but you thought, there's some interesting insight there, and I would love to learn more about what's going on and what they're talking about and who's in that group. Please join us inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. All you have to do is go to Facebook and search for Ring of Renegades. Now it is a private group, so you do need to ask to join. And then you just need to tell us why you're a renegade. And we have a growing community, over 900 members who are in there and are active and engaged, trying to help themselves and each other take their next step forward on their own unique pathway to success. And what has spawned from that is the larger community. We also have a core for those people who are looking for a little bit more, who feel like they need a little more one-on-one conversations, a little more one-on-one support of how to take the next step. Because they've either run out of ideas, they're stuck, there's some obstacle that is blocking their way, or some opportunity that they are looking at, trying to decide how to move forward. And they don't have someone who is there to ask the hard questions, to look at it with a little different perspective. So if that's something that you might be interested in, you want to check out the Renegade Success Network. I'll show a little bit about that in just a minute. So we hope that you have a great week. If you are celebrating Easter, please enjoy that. I hope you find some time with your family. We encourage you also to remain safe and healthy. And we will see you this weekend inside the Ring of Renegades Facebook group, or we will see you Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, for our next edition of Today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone, and here's some more information about the Renegade Success Network. Are you struggling to make your vision a reality? Are you stuck and don't know what to do next? Are fear and doubt holding you back? The Renegade Success Network will help you determine the next steps on your pathway. Here is some of what you will get. Create your pathway call to start you on a better path. Unlimited laser solution sessions to keep you from getting stuck. Nurture your network events to build your network with other successful leaders. Monthly Renegade challenges to prepare you for what lies ahead. The Renegade Success Vault, giving you access to videos, tools, and tips on specific topics anytime you need them. And the Renegade Success Network community, an exclusive Facebook group of like-minded renegades, all working towards achieving their goals. You have a choice. Do it yourself and fumble forward slowly and alone. Or join the Renegade Success Network and be part of a community built to help you find your own pathway. Join today at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Act now and jumpstart your journey on your own pathway to success.